That's a mess. That's weird because you're not. That was Dana Martin, and I'm Rodney Bettis.
And I'm the Mike Kilgore.
And I'm waiting for Dana to press record.
It doesn't say record.
I'm Adrienne Dobson. Dana, you look great. What is this hand shape that you're doing? It's the claw. That would be this. That would be this. This is really weird and uncomfortable. Reminds me of, what was the movie with the fish guy and the girl? I don't know. No.
Big Fish?
No. How was everybody's week? No.
Oh, don't bring up the Little Mermaid.
Oh, dang it. Mike, how was your week?
My week was great. I got to see Houston peeps. I got to see College Station and Bryan peeps. Yes, I did. And I'm living the life and super excited. So, yep. How about y'all?
Dana already got sick of his background.
Yeah, happy birthday, Terry.
Oh, I got you something for your birthday. We went to the ice cream shop with Ryder, so he picked this out for you.
Nice.
Thrilling. Rodney, how was your week?
My week was good. I worked at Santa's Wonderland a couple of nights. It was cold. That's the way it ought to be. And then me and my family went to Santa's Wonderland. And I think I went through the lights for the first time in 4 years, even though I've worked there for like 4 years. So that was pretty cool.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's especially worth it because my ticket's free because I work there.
Nice. We took, wait.
I know.
So, Casey just texted, Dana is silent. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened this evening. We're going to take the boys to Central Park because my mom's in town for her birthday. Yep. Awesome. And the line to get into Central Park was like all the way down to 2818. And so I taught Ryder the rhythm to move, cars, get out the way. But it didn't work. So we just took him to Century Square and he was just as excited about those lights. Nice. And then we went to the ice cream shop and we didn't have to wait in line. Hi, Caden. What's up, dude? So can I share breaking news before we do our segments? Any segments?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Hunter, Hannah's husband, got a truck today.
Oh, sweet. Yes. Good for him.
Good job, Hunter.
I feel like we really helped that marriage out like a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was y'all's juju that had anything to do with it, but we're sending our well wishes to Hannah and congratulations to Hunter because I guess he won is how she phrased it.
Amazing. It's not a contest.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started, Mike.
Oh, yes. Well, this week we have a special correspondent who does spend most of his time on the street. He's not sure which street that is, but filling in for Roger Pine Breakdown, we have probably one of the most handsomest guys I know breaking down Who's Holiday.
No. Oh, no. Run.
What is happening?
There we go.
Oh, Lord. Oh, nice. Can't hear him.
You will in a second.
A lovely one person. Of course, I know her as Adrienne, but one person show, and it tells the story of Cindy Lou who was the little girl that we saw in the original Grinch movie, production, whatever it was originally, book by Dr. Seuss, and she is now grown up. And let me tell you, this girl had a hard life, and she's gone through some stuff. and she apparently, I guess, maybe becomes friends with the Grinch somehow. And she drinks a lot. That I know. She definitely drinks a lot. And yeah, it's a Dr. Seuss book. I'm pretty sure that was in the Lost Chronicles of Dr. Seuss. So you should definitely check it out, especially at Theater Company. So anyway, that's my breakdown.
Mike,
So,
have you ever seen the show?
Have you?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Adrienne.
Yes, I know. Yeah, what's funny is, Mike, I had you do that, and then like a couple of hours ago, or at some point today, it's been a long day, Roger sent me like 3 breakdown videos to use for future shows. So the good thing is he caught up and sent me a bunch of videos, but I was like, thanks, but I don't need you tonight. So thanks ahead of time for Roger Pine. So yeah, that's the plot, Mike. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's more of the, like, I don't know, character introduction, but you know, it's fine.
He's right. She did have a tough life. That is very true. And we'll talk more about that show later. So I guess theater news. The set is up and painted thanks to Mandy Mershon and her family. Thanks to Dana for coming and babysitting his precious graveyard. But we had a crew of people that we guilted into coming. Actually, some people totally surprised me. I didn't know Rachel was coming. She came. I did guilt David Moreno into coming. So he was there and Catherine was there. We got it up in like less than 3 hours. It was pretty impressive. And I've been rehearsing with Beth and Stacy, and it's been a blast. So tickets are available now at theatercompany.com/who's holiday. We're ready. It's happening.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I got a
Excited
sneak
about
peek
that.
of it, and it looks amazing. Can we tell them like where it takes place at, Adrienne?
Yeah.
Like the setting? It's this year's trailer is amazing. So just make sure you come see this show. It's like set looks awesome. So
there are the COVID aspects of the show are turning out to be pretty funny. I did have a minor accident the first day of rehearsal. I guess it was the second day of rehearsal. So yeah, I ripped through a hazmat suit. I'm gonna need to replace that. So Rodney, if you can tell me where you used that one from Rain on Me, that would be great.
Yeah. There's a whole bucket of them.
Perfect. So I can have
Really
future
killer.
accidents and it's still okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a thrilling day. Oh, good. I have mine too.
I have lots of cameos today.
Oh, I love it.
Hayden.
The next up is a theater company carol. You gentlemen excited?
I am. I was reading the script today, and I am excited. That playwright, she's got a little something.
Are we gonna have like a read through?
We totally can. I mean, if
I don't
you
even
think
know
you
what's
need it.
happening. So
No, it's really, so we talked about the Princess Bride thing that happened over quarantine with all the celebrities doing like one line at a time. That's the goal for this. So the goal is for everyone involved, and there's an array of people involved, to be as creative as they want to when it comes to costumes, especially you 3, because you're playing 2 characters. Get as creative as you want and have fun, and then we'll put it together.
what do we
now
play?
have, what?
What do
He
we
hasn't read the script.
Cool. For your support.
Didn't you read the script?
There are some good Rocky jokes in there. I'm proud. Yeah, it tickles me, but also sometimes I'm really not funny. So we'll see how this goes. But it made me laugh, and Carrie liked it. We are releasing, so it's 7 chapters. So 7 chapters. So every night, hi Daniela. We're going to start, hopefully chapter 1 will be released next week, because I've got all these Christmas songs that are ready for people to see. They're ready to be seen. I just need to get the chapter 1 of the acting done, and then we'll put that out there, and we'll release 1 chapter at a time leading up to Christmas. Questions?
You need chapter 1 by next week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe in you.
We can do it.
That makes one of us.
I so believe in you. You did your first TikTok dance today, Dana.
Oh, we don't have to
And
talk about
amazing.
that. It was terrible. Wait,
It
it was
was
better
terrible.
than Mike's. So
It was, yeah. It was. I'm slowly coming to the realization that I just don't have rhythm, and you both do. and this is just terrible. But that's all right. Nobody can be 100% perfect, though.
I literally said, I think Rodney's cheating because that video looks sped up. And I don't know how he did it.
He's just a really good dancer. You know this.
No. Look at him. He knows. Like, I found you out. Old beer straightener guy. Yeah.
See, Mike gets extra points, though, because without hesitation, he just did it in like 10 minutes, had it up there.
Yeah.
In all fairness, the only reason I did it is because the other two did.
Yeah, I know. That's how it was really a breakthrough for me, because I realized how easily you caved to peer pressure.
What? No.
It was amazing. So easy. The second that Rodney did his, it was like, oh man, okay. That did not take much convincing.
I stressed about it. Just, it's fine. Move on.
That's shocking that it's stressed.
Sure.
All right. Do we want to? I think we normally jump to cocktail at this point, or do we want to do Katie crying?
If you do Kate Cries, it'll give me a chance to get into my costume.
Oh my God! Where's the diva point?
Do you want to talk a little bit about when Kate cries,
diva
Mike?
Point.
No, Dana.
So when Kate cries, and she's gonna be talking about Memphis. I've never seen that. I thought it was a TV show.
You thought Memphis was a TV show?
It is a TV show, but it's nothing like the musical, I'm sure.
No.
He's only walked in Memphis before, so.
Oh my God. This is how it's going to be tonight. Awesome.
When Kate cries. Hey, DivaDads, it's your boy Little Kiki here. I am filling in for my mother Kate for When Kate Cries. And there's a moment that I remember from back in high school. I went with my choir to New York to see different shows on Broadway, and we went and saw the show Memphis. And Memphis is a really beautiful show, but there's this character who, when the show starts, you think he's deaf because he doesn't talk, he doesn't sing, he doesn't say anything. But they're having this really dramatic moment in the show, and there's a lot of chaos, and all of a sudden you just hear him finally say, just stop. And it's, my heart just, I remember, dropped to my stomach, and I just felt the tears just well up in my eyes, because it was literally such a beautiful moment to like finally hear him say something and realize like he does have a voice and he does care, and he wanted to say something, and it was, every time I watch it now, I can't. It makes me be emotional. So yeah, that's When Kate Cries this week. Love you guys.
When Kate cries.
So it appeared to me his eyes were getting a little red during talking about that. I'm gonna have to see this now. It's good.
Memphis?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Also, Kiki had just woken up when he did that video, which is why the fan was still going on. Has anyone seen Memphis? Oh, okay. So I think his name is Dewey Phillips, but he's a very famous DJ from the 1950s. And he was known for being the first DJ to kind of put Black music on popular radio. And so the musical I think they call him Huey in the musical instead of Dewey, but he stumbles upon this kind of underground club that features a lot of Black performers. And so not only does he fall in love with the music, and the musical is about him kind of breaking through popular radio and this segregation, or getting rid of the segregation of music, but he also falls in love with the sister of the bar owner. So it follows that love story and also everything he does. What's
I don't know. It sounds like, wasn't there a movie about some dude falling in love with Etta James too, or something? I don't know.
Cadillac Records?
Was that it? Yeah,
with
maybe.
Beyonce?
With Brody?
Adrienne Brody? Yeah, that was Cadillac Records.
Okay. Different storyline. Or kind of the same, but not.
But listen to the Memphis soundtrack. It's really, really, really good, because it's just this like skinny white dude that's like, I don't understand why I can't like this music too. And it's about him kind of breaking down that barrier. And the scene or the montage of him slowly getting all these little teeny boppers to fall in love with Black music is hysterical. It came to Opus a few years ago, and so a lot of people got to see it then, but it's really good and you should see it.
Cool. I like that we're continuing to talk and Rodney's just not ready or
I think he's waiting.
Oh, is he waiting? Because he has to make an entrance? There we go.
There we go.
I'm ready to follow along.
Oh,
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, if you were going to follow along.
Yes, I did realize that all of my shakers are at the theater now because they're on the Who's Holiday set, so I'm using a coffee mug. Terry, would you like?
We didn't get the memo, Dana?
Oh, I read the
it was
chat.
in the chat today, Mike.
I read the chat, Mike. And not just look for my name and scanning it for it.
True.
Actually.
Hold the glass for Terry, but she doesn't want one. I'm ready.
Okay, so you're going to put ice in your shaker. We're going to make a holiday teeny. It's basically a cranberry martini, but it's the holidays, so we're going to call it a holiday teeny. So we're going to start with gin or vodka. I have gin because Mandy drank all the vodka. So we're going.
Tito's.
Yeah, so we're going to need 1.5 ounces of your gin or vodka. I'm using Aviation Gin from my boy Ryan Reynolds. Then you will need 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. I'm using Noilly Prat. I assume that's how you pronounce it. And then you will need 1/2 ounce of your orange liqueur. I got Grand Marnier. And it's very orangey. Like, I have never had this before.
Patron.
But whenever you like it smells very orangey. So, and then you're gonna need your cranberry juice. You're gonna get 1.5 ounces of that. Every time I get this stuff, I'm like, I want to sing that Fleetwood Mac song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, if you were on TikTok all the time, you would know the.
Oh, I got you.
Oh.
Pick it.
Do that TikTok, Rodney.
Do what?
You should do that TikTok, Rodney.
Yeah, I don't have a skateboard or anything, so.
You should go ice skating with
No,
Parker.
but you have a hat that seems very rigid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then you've got all of your ingredients. And you're going to shake it up. And I don't feel like I have a very good feel because my hands are getting wet. All right. Then, let's see, before we do that, I'm going to get a garnish ready. So I've got an orange. I was going to do cranberries, but I couldn't find cranberries. It's flipping December, and we don't have cranberries in Bryan. So
A nice sugared rim.
yeah, I'm going to sugar the rim. So for you guys who haven't done that, just kind of coat the outside with something sticky and citrusy like your garnish. Sugar the rim. And then you're going to strain. I'm going to double strain mine because I don't want the shards of ice in mine. Because I'm bougie like that, Mike.
You got it. He's bougie.
So a coffee cup is like a perfect strainer. It didn't let any of the ice out.
That's nice.
Oh, I'm excited. That smells delicious.
And a little wedge in your orange slice. It's too big for this glass. Too big. That was going to be catastrophic. And garnish it like so. And
Oh, wow. Looks good.
cheers. Yeah, that is good.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. That's
That's really good. All right. Well, I'm really excited. So these two women, they're about to come on. Both of them have been wonderful additions to the theater company. Stacy showed up like a couple of shows after I did. Her first show was Zorba the Greek. And I've known her for a very, very long time. Creel, I got to meet when she started working in the high school with Michelle Campbell-Greene. And now they're both working together, not just at the high school, but also with me for Who's Holiday. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
How was your days?
Well, it was Friday at a high school, so
Yeah. On a pep rally day.
Ew.
we had our last pep rally of the year, which is pretty cool because they're outside.
Was there a lot
Okay,
of pep happening?
Yeah,
Pep.
You, Dana.
I guess. I don't know. I love pep rallies because I like the band and the cheerleaders and stuff, but It's kind of weird outside because you're not like sitting on top of each other.
You don't get that loud, like, oh, like, yeah, go fight wind.
No, you're not like head throbbing afterwards.
And y'all are at Consol, right?
No, we're at College Station.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
So we're at the one that's further south.
Okay.
So what is it like teaching in a pandemic?
Stacy, you want to take that one?
It's a constant monitor and adjust. And like we had to completely refigure, like, well, you guys know, because you're having to refigure how you do what you're doing. And it's like, okay, social distancing in a classroom with 20 kids and like trying to figure out how to do what you do, but still keep connection and make it safe. And it's weird, the things that still work. And the things that have come out of this that will probably stay because they're good. Like not everything that has happened, I mean, like as a side effect is terrible. It hasn't been as awful as I thought it was going to be.
What are some of those good things that you think is going to stick around?
I think one thing is like we are streaming shows on top of doing them live. And so it has really kind of opened up our audience for families and alumni who still want to come see our shows. I think just kind of the awareness of, you know, if someone's sick, we still have to take care of each other. So like in a show, normally people start getting sick around opening night, but now just the, you know, if I come to school sick, oh no, I can get everybody else sick. And the kind of dependence upon attendance for like exemptions and grades is kind of out the window because people are like, no, take care of you so that we can be okay.
Yeah, that's great.
That aspect of the virtual stuff is something that we've learned too. Like when we did our telethon, Rachel Mitchell, who's living in New Zealand, was able to watch the whole thing. And when we did Rain on Me, there was a watch party in California and one in New York of alumni that included Monty Masano and Scott and Berkeley. They didn't even know that that's what they were doing that evening when they were hanging out with Monty. So all of them got to experience that show. And that's not something we'd planned for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and like I got to see it in my living room with my kids, which was, you know, cool that they were like, who's that lady? And I'm like, oh, that's Miss Adrienne. She sings pretty. And they were like, whoa. They thought it was the coolest thing that you were like famous.
Ryder thinks it's really cool that he's famous. So after Rain on Me, he was like, can I see me on the TV? That's a normal thing, right?
Right.
Do y'all want to tell us a little bit about your experience in life with the theater company and how we all kind of came together?
Stace, I'll go first because I have far less experience than you do, right? So as I think Adrienne was saying when she introduced, my best friend worked with me, Michelle Campbell-Greene, and she was doing theater shows. I know, pour one for our homies. She was doing theater shows when I started working with her. And I would come, you know, I think her first show was Into the Woods. No, it was Cinderella was the first show that I saw at the theater company. And it blew me away, this whole family and community that you guys had. And I am not a singer. I'm afraid of singing in front of people. I can rap, but that's about it. So I would always from the sidelines cheer on and hear the stories about all the people. And I think it was Rocky. Was that my first show? Mm-hmm. So the very first Rocky was the first show I did. I costumed it. And so I had very briefly met Randy and I'm like, I'm about to come in and put corsets on men and all sorts of stuff. And I was afraid he thought I was a crazy person, but it was awesome. I loved it. And whenever I had time outside of school, I would volunteer to help, mostly costumes. I produced a few shows. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much my extent. I did the first two Rockies. I did Drowsy, Rock of Ages, Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do SPAMALOT, but I was pregnant at the time and had my babies on the last day. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, costuming, producing, but always a supporter.
So do we get to hear some of this rap later on?
That's for after hours, friends.
Yeah. All right.
You guys stay tuned for that, folks.
You heard it here, folks. After dark, stick around.
What about you, Stacy?
Let's see. Can I summarize it briefly? I started in, I guess, 2003. Zorba was my first show, and then just kept coming back. Mostly performing, but then I got involved in doing costuming, did a couple of set designs, produced a show. Pretty much for a while, like there was a time I was involved in pretty much every show in some capacity. And then as like work started getting more and more, like there just wasn't time to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. Well, we have some questions for you. Mike, do you want to get us started?
Yes. Okay, this first question is for you, Beth. Tell us what you think about musicals.
Okay, to an audience of musical lovers. I was a band kid. I was a musician, right? I played saxophone, I played all the winds, I played bass briefly. And so to me, music didn't have words. And then I was a theater kid, and our schools never did musicals. And so those were very separate worlds for me. And whenever I saw musicals it kind of blew me away, but it was really hard for me to translate. So I appreciate musicals because it's hard. Straight plays are hard, but musicals, like, I don't know how y'all do it. You can sing and you can dance and you can act at the same time. I can do one of those at once without being winded, but you guys do all three and it's amazing. But I think musicals take the best of both worlds. They, have that music that connects you to the emotions, but then they have this spectacle that I love and I don't get in most straight plays that I do.
That's cool.
I was expecting a scathing review, so I appreciate that.
I wouldn't do that. Like, I know my audience, so like.
Well, I actually, when you said the singing, dancing, and acting, I think maybe between the three of us, we could make a singer, dancer, actor. But...
Speak for yourself, Dana.
I don't know, Mike, you were pretty convincing in Rock of Ages.
That's who he is as a person.
Oh,
but the hair's all wrong. You got to fix the hair, Mike.
Yeah.
So, Stacy, could you either defend or debate Beth's stance on musicals?
This is here because I thought Beth's stance on musicals would be a lot more clear.
What is your take?
Gosh, no, I don't. I think more of a defense on it. And I guess working with her and being on a team with her, like, no, I don't think I can. And like, it's interesting because a lot of times what I've come to find is a lot of musicians, they do have a separation between like the music and the story that's being told by the music a lot of times. And so like Beth has an interesting perspective of having the theater side of it as well, and seeing like the lyrics coming together and actually connecting the lyrics with the music and telling the story through that. And then seeing the other side of it too, being able to combine the technical aspect of it and the spectacle with it. While people are focusing on like what they're doing with their bodies, she's got the other end of it and seeing like the whole picture as it's happening. So
I'm so glad I work with you.
I love you two together. Michelle does have a correction to this question. She says, ask Beth how she feels about glitter in musicals.
Oh, there's a look of disgust.
Yeah, Beth, how do you feel about glitter in musicals?
Yes, Stace, let's talk about glitter, shall we? I hate glitter so much. I love the sparkle, but it never leaves. You put like 3 little flecks of glitter on a stage, it's there for 10 years. You think I'm joking? See, beard, gross. Ew, no. Beards, glitter, that's too many things going on.
Uh-oh.
Stacy, we know where the glitter beards are though. At Tita.
Yeah, they're by the alligators.
So at theater teacher conventions, we go to these every year, most years, and there was a sign Now, Stacy, you saw this sign, and if you ever want to know what it's like to have like 1,000, 2,000 theater teachers in the same hotel, this is what you find.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah. So it was at Moody Gardens, and they have they've got their like weird like penguin exhibit thing, but also like in the hotel in different places, like they have like an alligator like habitat, and then they've got like something else somewhere else. But so there was like this sign that they were having like a glitter beard demonstration or something, because that was a thing. And
missed opportunity, man.
I know.
And they moved it over by the alligators, and like the sign was posted, and it was just like, well, of course they are, like, and it's the kind of environment where that's just not a weird thing. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah.
And so you like walk up to the hotel bar next to a dude with like pink glitter beard, and you're like, hey, what's up?
Rodney had a full-on glitter beard for Rocky IV. He had full-on glitter beard. So the men's dressing room still, like you stated, has glitter all over the place from his
Can't leave it.
glitter
And
blade.
so
It always will.
Oh,
How did Paul survive the dressing room?
you said
Paul would, Pearly moment. No, Paul would just, he didn't, I think he dressed somewhere else. Because I don't think he was in the in the dressing room.
I don't recall him being in there either.
Yes,
Where's your sentiments, Beth, about glitter?
No, if you walk on the stage at College Station High School, there's red glitter from the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Still.
When was
and it's
that?
never going to leave.
How long ago was that?
3 years?
3 years?
3 years?
It was spring of 2019.
Oh.
So like 2 years, but it's felt like 15 years because, it's still there. I've painted the stage.
It was fabulous. It was so good. Lily Van Zant was in that production, you guys. Also, Michael Westy, who was supposed to be in Tuck.
Nice. I can LVZ, killing it.
Yeah, amazing kiddos.
Yeah. All right, Beth, do you use Elf on the Shelf to control your children?
So they're next door. So no, not yet. Our elf is super tricky. He likes to hide between the cereal boxes. And they we have already established in this house, they creep us out. I have 7-year-old twins, for those of you who don't know. And
wait, the twins or the elf?
No, my children. We have one elf. His name changes every year. This year it's Skippy because why not? But no, it's manipulation. And it works.
Isn't parenting manipulation?
It's like, oh, the elf's watching you. You better go do this. And it works. I don't know how much longer it's going to work, so I'm going to keep doing it.
So, Rodney, I understand you have strong feelings about Elf on the Shelf. Tell us about them.
Yes, I do. I actually have, every December, I have an ongoing series of my distaste for Elf on the Shelf, and it's actually like if you want to use it to manipulate your children to behave, I use whatever you got. Get out of the way, cat. My
Would
problem
it work with high school?
Yeah,
can we work it?
Yeah, see, if I could get it to work with my middle schoolers, then I might employ it. But my problem is how people get like so into the cutesy, like this is how I set up my elf and take pictures and post it every day. And I really do it for one person on my Facebook feed, and because she posts it all the time, and I haven't tagged her in any of my posts, but I have been drawing like gnomes, drawing gnomes every day in my journal and posting them on Facebook about how lame Elf on the Shelf is.
Hold on, let me find your Facebook and friend you so I can see these, because I love gnomes, but like, okay.
Yeah, it's been fun. If Dana would ever let me, release a little control of the show and allow me to share the screen, I could show them to you, but that's not gonna happen.
You don't have 20 minutes for you to find the right controls, Rodney.
Never.
Okay, speaking of middle school, so Stacy, you taught at College Station Middle School for how long?
0 years. I was at AMCMS.
AMCS.
Love that. Thank you.
Never.
Stacy.
How long?
18 years.
18 years. So I feel like you were encouraged to move to high school several times. And the answer was always like, nope, nope, never doing high school. So what made you finally transition to high school, and do you regret it?
Wow. There were a lot of reasons that I transitioned to high school. Probably the thing that kept me at middle school the most, a lot of it had to do with just, I felt like there was more that I needed to accomplish, like, because like you always feel like you're growing, and there are certain things you want to get done, and there are certain things you want to try, and but then you get to a point where it's like, okay, I think I've reached as much as I can do with this. And also, like, high school takes a lot of time, and the trade-off is, like, I really value what we're doing, and it's worth the time that we're putting in. Like, so, like, I don't regret it at all. And like, artistically, it's fulfilling, and it's a different kind of a challenge. And I think I was at a point where I was ready for it. And it was like the perfect, like, zeitgeist moment of, like, Beth texting me, and I was making a Pop-Tart, and it all just, like, came together. And it was like, yeah, you know what? It's time. Let's do it.
And the Pop-Tart pops up and you munch on it, and there you go.
Yeah.
Decision made.
Done.
David Manuel said Grace would say having wonderful students like her.
Absolutely.
But that kind of leads me into a follow-up for this. So when you make a transition, is this in the same school district that you would have had a set of kids from the middle school transitioning into high school and had them again?
Not necessarily, and in theory, no, but I actually do have a couple of kids that I had at the middle school. There's a small, because my transition was across town, and so in theory, most of the AMCMS kids would go to Consol. Like, that's most of the feeder pattern, but there's a small group of kids, and some kids move. So there are some kids who were real surprised to see me. They thought they were going to get a little bit of a break, but they didn't. So they're just like, why are you here? Because I'm following you.
Awesome.
All right. Oh, great. I get this question. Okay. Both of you, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about working together?
Oh. It's like the newlywed game.
I know, right? I feel like we're married.
We write it down. I think
we'll like put it up.
Where's the poster board?
Okay, I don't have a poster. Steve, did you just Hufflepuff that?
Yes.
Okay, what's this Hufflepuff
That's probably
thing about?
both of Beth's answers right there, the Hufflepuffing.
Yeah, Mike, you are the Hufflepuff.
100%.
So when Stacy first started working there, as you guys know, theaters have all these little pockets where you store the extension cords and the glassware and the socks and whatever. And I'm really bad about, like, I know where things are, but then I don't. And so just randomly, I'd be like, Stacy, I wish we had one of those, like, old school metal percolators to make coffee. And she would be like, oh, hold on. And 3 seconds later, she'd have one. I don't know where it came from. Random stuff. Boom, she knows where it is. So it's a verb now in our department that you can Hufflepuff something, because Hufflepuffs are what?
The finders.
Finding things. And so she is kind of known to be the Hufflepuffer. So that's one of my favorite things. My second favorite thing is she always has chocolate.
Mm.
Always.
That's a great trait.
And so at lunch, when we're like, we have 10 minutes to eat a meal, and we're scarfing it down, and I'm like, ugh, and she's like, Creel, and then I catch it, and I have chocolate, and it's the greatest thing. But those are all superficial stuff. So I'll go deeper. Stacy's always down for whatever crazy ideas I have, but she's not afraid to be like, Beth, that's not a good idea. Right? She always
that was my answer.
She makes sure that I'm not doing things that exclude groups of kids, which I value because I kind of get carried away. So Hufflepuffing, chocolate, and she's all around awesome.
What's your least favorite thing?
The half-drunk cans of Coke on her desk. Or the Mountain Dews. She has like 7 of them. And like, I like my desk clean and clear because like I can't focus. And she just has like cans and stacks. But there's always like stickers and chocolate. So it's kind of, it's a trade-off.
Stacy, your turn.
Okay.
Hold up your sign. Oh, no.
My favorite thing is the collaboration. Like I feel like we're on the same wavelength enough to where like it's kind of like what Beth said, like where like we can both kind of hear each other's ideas and also kind of like pick things out. Like I can come to her with something that's crazy and like, what if we split this one character into like 3 people and it was more of a concept than an actual character? And like, it's crazy, but she can find like, I think I know how to make this work. And like, she can figure out how to like take the crazy in my head and translate it into something that's understandable. And what's my least favorite thing?
She takes your chocolate.
I never take it. I never steal
No.
it. I'm not a thief.
No, she's good at catching. I get to throw it at her.
Yeah.
This is a sucky answer, like, because we lose track of time. We'll get into something, we'll get into a project, and like, it's hard. Like, it's hard to stop sometimes. But that's, I mean, it's kind of, that's also a good thing too, because you're passionate about what you do. And I get pulled into that passion. But it's also, you know, it's hard too, but it's like.
It's 8:30 and you're like, put the Mod Podge down.
Yeah.
I used to feel that way about these guys, but now.
Used to?
Yeah.
Used to.
Sorry.
Okay. Is that why you won't let them share the screen?
100%.
I can share the screen.
It could be scary. He's probably got a reason. So Casey Gilbert wants to know, she says, you are molding the next generation of theater makers. What's the best part of that?
I mean, right now it's hard. I've had so many students text me and email me and call me and be like, I don't know if I need to keep doing this in college. What's going to be there for me when I graduate? And so my response to them is the response I have to most people who face adversity is, you know, make your way. Like, find what you like. If you are afraid theater's not going to be there, make your way into it. So find a way to, you know, learn streaming, learn this, learn that, you know, sweep the floors of the stage to keep it open. Be the one that changes the ghost light bulb, but adapt with it. And I'm fortunate that in our department, we teach them adaptability. That's what theater does, right? And so they learn that if theater's changing, they have to change with it. And what you guys do is actually one of the best kind of examples. I can point to, be like, hey, did y'all see the theater company thing? This is what they're doing. And they're still doing theater. And so it inspires them to keep going. And it's not just, well, the theater teachers do it because they get paid to. I can point down the street and say, well, they do it because they love it. So
I had an SOS phone call 2 nights ago from one of our college students with that exact same conversation. This is really hard. So what am I doing it for? And it's a hard conversation to have, because you do have to be able to know yourself enough to know if you want it bad enough and if you're determined, or if it's just really hard right now. And it's really hard right now.
Yeah, y'all were talking about when Keith cries, I guess. And I watched today. We finished up the the Disney holiday sing-along. Did anybody catch that?
No, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Oh, the one, was it the one with Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest hosted it.
Ryan
Yeah.
Seacrest.
Yeah.
I watched the first two that happened during COVID. We watched them with Ryder. My mom just said it was fun though, so she caught it.
But prepare yourself.
Leslie Odom Jr.'s in it.
Yes, he is. In fact,
who?
Leslie Odom Jr. He played Aaron Burr, sir, in Hamilton.
Even Mike is annoyed with you right now.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, Mike 1, Dana 12. All right, keep going.
My mom said Pink and her daughter was her favorite part.
Yes, that was sweet. But the part that got me was whenever the cast of Frozen came on and sang "Let It Go" to the Ghost Light. Because, yeah, so that got me. Like Josie was sitting next to me and she was like, "I'm getting a little emotional," and I was just like, tears streaming down my face. I was like, I'm fine.
My eyes are sweating.
Oh, that's heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it was, and beautiful. So
Well,
it's very good. That one number alone is worth the whole show. Putting up with Ryan Seacrest the whole time. So.
Well, I do have to say though, like we just finished a show at Lake Walk. You know, we had an audience. My kids were on a stage, and I'm not emotional. Like I'm not one of the cryy people. I don't get overwhelmed that easily. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching an audience watch my students on a stage, and they are acting with masks on. They are making puppets and doing all sorts of weird stuff. And I cried. And I don't do that, but I got to see theater again. And it's gonna come back. And just like, if that's anything that we're molding our students to know, like, it's not gone. How long has it survived? Like, it survived pandemics before. This is nothing, but it's gonna be back. But the family that we make, like, that's what's gonna remain. So
100%.
And they're too young to know this yet, but when it's in your blood, you can't get away from it. It's always going to pull you back, like the mafia. Like it's always going to pull you back. Like I tried to get out of theater so many times, like as a kid, until finally it's just like you have to succumb to it. And so it will find them if that's what their passion is.
The theater company mafia will find
that's exactly why I started laughing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it is, though, the community, like Adrienne was touching on, stretching from coast to coast. People that have ties to community theater just here in Bryan, and you got to think of how many community theaters there are across the U.S. And there's a commonality and something that happens when you're in a show together, whether you're performing, whether you're in the pit, whether you're costuming, whether you're tech or whatever. Like there's a bond that occurs with every single show that's different than every other single show, but they're all unique, and they spread across however far your distance is or how much time passes between shows. I know that just getting together to do Rocky, there were people that I was doing stuff with that I hadn't done stuff with since last Rocky, and it was like you hadn't missed a beat. Like it was just the friendship was there, your kindred spirits when you're in theater. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They're putting they've got a bunch of trucks over there where we had Rocky. I guess they might be replacing the roof. That's what they're doing. So there's a whole bunch of just things stacked over there, and it was so weird turning around. I'm like, oh, we just did a show, and now it's like business as usual with a whole bunch of work. Just weird.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Beth.
Yes.
As I'm sipping my Irish whiskey, Kern's Irish whiskey, always have to advertise. Maybe they'll just give me free whiskey. What is your favorite whiskey?
I drink bourbon. My favorite bourbon is Pappy Van Winkle. I think I've had the 10. I haven't had the 20. But it's nice. My sister got me a bottle, and so every time I would advance in our contest play, or I would close a show, I would get one glass. And so it took me years to finish it, and I finished it, I think it was Peter and the Starcatcher. So it was a few years ago. And so pretty much now my favorite bourbon is whatever people buy me. So
Pappy's is
So I
nothing
have to say
shake a
thank you
stick at.
to I have to say thank you to Aiden, Shadanian's husband. The other night she surprised me by having like outdoor like charcuterie and drinks for my birthday, and I had no idea. And Aiden has this birthday whiskey that I'd never heard about, but it's this guy that only bottles it every year on his birthday. And so it's an annual whiskey, and he had like one bottle that he let me kill, and it was so good. Thank you, Aiden and Hannah.
Wait a minute,
So
your
good.
birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss?
You did text me, but I think it was like a Michael Scott, it is your birthday type thing. We can move
I don't
on.
even remember that. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
well, moving on, please. Who's
You have
next?
memory. Mike, it's your turn.
Well, I'm just gonna go
What
ahead
a
and move on
jerk.
to this next question then. Who was the first Diva Dad to wish her a happy birthday? We'll leave it there. Okay, Stacy, what's your favorite backstage memory of TTC?
Oh gosh.
It's been a lot.
Yeah. The first one that comes to mind was gosh, during Camelot. It may not be the one you're thinking though.
Okay, I just remember getting in
just
trouble.
crocheting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was that. Was that the Starbucks?
Yeah, because the way Randy did that version of Camelot, we were essentially off stage for like an hour and a half. So you and
Like
me
it was really inconvenient to go on stage.
Yes, it interrupted our crocheting time.
Yeah, because we would get into a project and then it was like, oh crap, we got to go on stage now and like go sing like a chorus of something, and so it's just like we were happy to be there like in the show, but not like actually like have to go out on stage because we were busy. And so, getting Starbucks and crocheting, but we had camaraderie.
You taught me to crochet during that show. You want to see something that I've made?
Yes.
Adrienne's
She
Hufflepuff
made herself disappear.
Uh-oh.
It's good. Yeah. So yeah, this is because of you, Stacy.
Aww.
And when
Okay, I'm
was
gonna
that
jump
version?
in. I'm gonna jump in and say my favorite backstage TTC memory, because I don't have very many. There's two. The first one in Rocky 2, the second Rocky, was that with Dewey? No, that was Rocky 1.
Dewey was Rocky 1, and then the second one was Julie Freeman.
So Stephanie Dew was Columbia, and in like before the floor show, she had a quick change. And I had met Stephanie Dew like once before, but I was the costumer, and so I was gonna help her with a quick change. And so I am putting her into this corset, and it is like Stephanie Dew's boobs right here. And I'm like corseting her up, and I'm like in the middle, halfway through tying her up, I'm like, hi Stephanie, I'm Beth. I don't know if you know me very well. Tie. And then she went on stage, and it was the most awkward thing. But it was the most like, gotta focus. She has like 5 measures, and then she has to be on stage. But my second favorite, when we did Legally Blonde, I had just had the kids. It was the first show I'd done since having my babies. And Stacy Erskine was Paulette. Mm-hmm. Is that her name?
Yeah.
And she would sing Ireland. And every show, I would go off stage because I was waiting for a quick change probably. And I would watch her sing it because it was so beautiful. And I was still hormonal and crazy. And I would just tear up, not cry because I don't cry, but I would just sit there and watch it. And I'd like think how like that was the moment I fell in love with the show. And then I ended up directing it at College Station with Adrienne choreographing it. So.
I'm gonna drink.
She's the softie. Right there.
You're freaking fabulous in that show.
Oh,
it was good. It was so good. I love that show. So for both of you, do you have a favorite memory of working with Randy?
Okay, Stacy's going like she's going through a Rolodex. So as you guys said, I'm not a big musical person. And so I would sit and watch, dress rehearsals with Randy, and he knew this. And so he would always quote random musicals, and he would say, do you know where that's from, Beth? And I'm like, no. And so I just started saying Cats for everything. everything. And it would be like some random thing. He's like, oh, what's that from, Beth? Cats? And finally he realized I was messing with him. And so he would laugh about it. But every time I see the Randy picture, I imagine the random conversations about how, you know, that line was definitely from Cats, Randy. I saw it. All right, Stace, I gave you time to think.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. I don't know. I don't know. I loved it when he was in shows. Like, and that was like my first theater company experience was with him as Zorba. And
that
then
was a good one.
Yeah.
As far as him being in the show.
Yeah, and then well, Sweeney. But that show was just
cursed.
Crazy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the house almost killed people. It was nuts. I don't know. I can't think of one. Like I can't really narrow it down to one. I mean, I know the one that kind of lives on is like the post How to Succeed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Dads, I think we've talked about this before. How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying was one of Randy's favorite show until that cast ruined it for him. And Stacy was part of that cast, not part of the problem. She was not part of the problem.
This is where we were talking. You were talking about how things occurred outside of theater that impacted theater.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've talked about how y'all think y'all misbehaved, but y'all did not misbehave. How to Succeed is the show where we'll talk after dark, but like the inappropriate stuff got put in a certain person's binder. And so on camera, he opened his binder to some pornography. That was the show where we performed at the George Bush Library and the cast got lit at Margarita Rocks and then went to rehearsal. And what did Randy tell us that night, Stacy?
You could lose a toe.
Oh,
and that he'd seen
it. Go into rehearsal drunk, you could lose a toe.
The other thing that I didn't know if you would remember or not, and I think Monty talked about this too, how there would be certain roles where Randy would go up on stage and demonstrate whether or not you needed it, and he did that with Monty.
Oh,
Stacy, this happened to you.
Yes, I think there was always that one role in a show.
Yes.
Yeah, there was always one role in a show that Randy would want. Like that would be like the role that he would want. And it wasn't always like the lead or anything. Mm-hmm. There was always that one role where it's like, and so that would get very special attention and he'd like demonstrate things. And yeah.
The one I remember with you was Drowsy. Drowsy Chaperone. Yeah, he was demonstrating like laying on the chaise lounge and all the drunk walking and talking.
Yeah, there were lots of like legs in the air and things like that. I think we toned it down quite a bit.
Wait, he demonstrated that?
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
In Follies, it wasn't your role, but it was Wendy's role. The like cameo, the French lady that he was obsessed with. But he would always find that one that he's like, let me show you how it's done, girls.
So I used to smoke outside with Randy and talk to him about, you know, my career as a musician. He tried to get me to come in. For those of you that are new to the show and haven't heard this story, I worked at NRG and we would have these conversations. And so my idea of who Randy is the director guy that would smoke outside. And we would have great conversations. And then fast forward a few years, I'm finally in theater after Randy's gone. And I'm hearing all this stuff, like, that's why I was like, legs in the air, like, because my idea and perception of Randy is not that. So I keep it coming. No, this is great. I love these memories. Except for now that COVID, I've heard all this stuff, and I want to exceed or do something really crazy in a cast, but haven't had the opportunity because all this came up after COVID with DivaDads to hear all these stories. So when we get back into theater, watch out, Adrienne.
Yikes. So speaking
I'm
of
unsettled.
tormenting directors, Casey Gobert wants to know what's the hardest
That's
part.
rude.
Well, I mean, that's what he was going to do, is torment you as a director. So
100%.
It was a segue. Just let it happen. Just let him
it's a
segue.
segue. Yeah, seriously. I'm not a rookie at this. What's the hardest part of directing? What's the most rewarding part?
Hardest part probably is, I think, like watching a show over and over and over again and finding those new eyes every single time, because you know it's going to happen. You know the number is about to start. You know the big explosion is supposed to happen, and you have to look at it as an audience member for the very first time. But you're also looking at 77 different things at the same time. You're looking at, you know, is this line hitting? Is, you know, that light cue there? Is that sound cue there? Is the costume going to work with how she's saying it? Is she saying it clearly? Can we articulate this a little better? Your brain's everywhere, and you may miss really obvious things because you're thinking about all this stuff at the same time. And so just like getting your mind ready every time you do a run. And for, you know, for those of you guys don't know, for in one act play, which is the competition stuff that we do 40-minute plays. And so we may do a run of a show 4 times in a rehearsal. And so it's like, run it, notes, run it, notes. And so every single time you're having to reset your brain. What about you, Stace? Most difficult thing of directing?
I think that the most difficult thing is probably the responsibility of just having to, like, because if you miss the mark on it, like I think the most difficult thing is like, yeah, the responsibility and like honoring like what the actors are doing, like, because you want to balance like giving them freedom to explore and grow, but also giving them direction too. And so like that's really hard. That's probably the hardest part.
Do you feel that responsibility like tenfold with COVID?
No, not yet. I think probably the same at this point. I think what's going to be challenging is just, well, you know what? Now that you mention it, yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
Because we're about to, like, with my freshmen, we're about to jump into a show, and now it's like, okay, we've got to figure out how to get them to express with the masks, and so yeah, that's going to be.
Oh, we lost Beth.
She'll be back.
Okay.
But
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I thought, Stacy, for sure you were going to say the hardest part of directing was middle schoolers.
That's why she left.
They can be. They can be. Yeah, because sometimes they don't take direction, and sometimes they don't respond to having freedom. They only want you to give them line readings. They don't want to explore on their own. And so sometimes with middle schoolers, they don't have the balance. I hope she's coming back.
I think that's why I was so excited for you to move to high school, because with the middle school, you're able to do a lot, but you hadn't been able to have the experience of like a full show with not adults, but like with grown kids who were able to, you know, respond to direction and create something big. So I was excited for you to move to high school to see what you were able to do with bigger kids.
Yeah.
So I just a follow up to that. As a musician, like I watch other musicians on stage on a concert, and I'm like, "Ooh, you missed that note," or "Oh, come on, really? You're gonna do that?" or what have you.
So critical.
I extremely. Now, as I don't want to say an actor or musical theater person. Don't. Okay, fine. I'll give myself one.
Like 4.
Point.
The point is, like, I feel like I have lost some of the ability to enjoy theater because I start to look at like this actor or that actor or what they're doing on stage as opposed to enjoying the whole of the show. We have 3 people here that direct. So, I mean, what is that something that you have to kind of force yourself into to just sit back and enjoy a show? Or even with your high school students, or Adrienne in your situation with us, to sit back and just enjoy the show that you're directing? Is that even possible?
Different kind of. Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, you can go ahead.
So for me, like when I just went to Broadway for the first time a few years ago, right? I'd never been before. And so I finally saw a show on Broadway. And instead of connecting with all of this, beautiful acting and music and dance and all this stuff, I'm looking up. I'm looking at the psych. I'm looking at the lights. I'm looking at all the spectacle. I'm looking at how do I do it? How can I steal stuff to bring it home to my students? How can I do this? And it's the really good shows are the ones that get me out of my director brain and into the audience. And it's hard to get me out of that. I've been doing this since I was 15. I am 40. I've been doing this for a long time. And so directing is normal, right? And so when I saw, the Great Comet of 1812, I stopped. I mean, I just stopped what I was doing and I stopped looking at the lights and I just got sucked in. But when I go see, I know that when Adrienne first started doing shows at theater company, I came and watched some dress rehearsals and I watched them and I asked her, do you want me to be an audience member or a director? And so she's like, give it to me, give it to me. So I was a director and I gave her the director brain. So sometimes it's hard to turn it off, but when that rare occurrence happens, it's such a relief. It's great.
Elizabeth Creel, when you see Hadestown for the first time, girl. So Rachel Chavin, or whatever her name is, that badass woman director who directed Comet of 1812, directed Hadestown. Yeah. And I will say that it wasn't a show where I was looking to be stealing stuff, but there was never a moment in the show that I wasn't just inspired. It blew my mind in the way that only Comet of 1812 has ever blown my mind.
I can't wait. And that's why I kind of hold off on seeing when I see The Lion King for the first time, I'm going to see it legit. I'm going to spend a salary, a paycheck just on getting good seats. I'm going to have my kids. We're going to get sucked in because I don't want to see it unless it's the best. Because then I'll go to director break.
Yeah. So yeah, with things that I've directed, I'm super critical of it until I turn it over to the kids. And that's hard because, when something, if something goes wrong, it's theirs. And that's where what we do is different than with, choir, band, or orchestra, where they've still got their director who's there to, help give them direction. Once we give the show to the kids, it's theirs for whatever. But my brain turns off at that point. I don't notice the things they're doing wrong unless it's egregious and horrible. But most of the time it's just I go into proud mama brain where it's just oh, they're so cute, and so I can turn it off and go to the absolute other extreme, but I can't watch other shows. Haven't been able to watch other shows since college. It's constantly God forbid there's a string hanging off a costume. Or if there are historical inaccuracies.
Oh Lord, don't
a hair tie on the hand.
I can't do hair ties.
Yeah.
Person hates bra straps.
This whole show, I haven't seen an angry face from Stacy till just now.
So if you want to think about the dynamic that we have, that's a good nutshell. Stacy watches it and she's the proud mom. She's look how they're growing. I pace back and forth in our booth and I'm that light cue's wrong. Go to that, go to that, go to that. I get on headset. I grab headsets off kids and I start talking to kids backstage. So we need each other to balance out. If it's just me being the crazy back and forth pacer in the booth, the kids don't have that nurturing. But then if it's just the nurturing, we don't have that constant pressure to do better and raise the bar and exceed beyond what people think.
Well, I appreciate you guys indulging me on that follow-up. I always assume that Adrienne doesn't ever get to enjoy a show that she's directing because
that's not true.
I hope you do.
No, I do. I absolutely do. I think, you know, what they do is they're so focused on teaching. They have like double the work because not only are they trying to put on a show, but they're also teaching the kids the process. I just have to get the show up and running. Like, I don't care about teaching you. I'm kidding.
Wow, you're talking to 3 novices here.
I know. But I was thinking while they were talking is I think that at opening night, that's how I can gauge how prepared I feel is whether or not I can sit back and relax or whether I have my phone out ready to take notes. And that tells me whether or not I was ready to let it go. Randy would opening night, bye. Like it was a rare thing that he would come back and watch the show. More so often he would come back and watch certain scenes or certain songs or certain people that he would like really was invested in. But it was rare that he would come back and watch a show. And so you knew that like it really meant something if he came back. So one of the ones that I remember, he would come back to watch Drowsy Chaperone a lot, Stacy. I don't know if you knew that, but he would watch Drowsy Chaperone a lot. But one of the ones that got me was the last time we did Into the Woods, he came back to watch the final performance and he sat in the middle with Emily Jordan. And normally he wouldn't sit anywhere where we could see him. It would be like lurking in the back, or he would go sit behind the pit so we couldn't really see him. But he sat and he watched the final show with Emily Jordan. And when he came back up on stage for like the thank yous, normally it would be like, great, come audition for The Music Man. Like he wouldn't really say a lot, but he talked about how different, he took the time to talk about how different the show was from the Thursday final dress rehearsal to then. And he was like, I feel like I accomplished something because without me, the show has grown and it's not the same. And he's like, watching what this group has done, I know I did something. And I think that that's what's hard. It's like, do I step back and just like let them do their thing? Or do I like, I would really like to fix that. That's my dilemma is like, when do I stop touching it?
Yeah.
Hard.
Because too much touching can mess it up.
Yeah. You don't want to throw anyone off. You want to let them do their thing, but you're also like, oh, but if I just did this.
Well, and I think you have a good perspective coming from being a performer under Randy and then taking over, artistic director. Like, you know what it's like to be in those shoes. And so you can kind of see the importance of it and know that the show's going to gel. The show always gels. And like, you have trust in your actors, which I think speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Well, I can also say that that's why I am enjoying so much working with you two. Because so last night's rehearsal, working with Stacy, and at some point she was like, am I stopping you too much? And I was like, no, bring it. Like I'm like I would ask you, Beth, when you would come to see a show, like, no, tell me. Because y'all know what it was like working with Randy, that it wasn't often that he would be so invested that he would be very forthcoming with a lot of that inside stuff. He would tell you what to do, but he wouldn't really go deeper unless you asked or really pushed for it. And so if someone has thoughts or has ideas that I don't know, especially having done the show a couple of times before, no, bring it on. Like, give it to me because I just want to make this better.
So working with these two, do you feel like you are learning to be even a better director after
yes, I was totally gonna say it. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm learning. I think I'm I love, and again, this is how you balance each other, but I love your two different minds and how you approach different things. I love that I don't feel scared of like asking a question. Not that I felt scared asking a question with Andrew, obviously, but like it's cool because so Stacy has seen the show twice before. Beth had never seen it. So it's totally fresh eyes. And that's exciting for me because one of my biggest goals is to make sure that it doesn't feel like something you've seen before. So yeah, I'm absolutely learning and really, really enjoying it.
I'm sorry to derail our question list, but I just felt like this was important stuff for everyone to hear. Everyone out in audience land too. Because
that's more of a derail than your question.
Yeah.
Apologizing for the derailment.
Oh,
just to give an update, this was a brand new bottle.
Just keep going, drink and go.
Also, Rodney, these are delicious.
They are delicious. That's why I made a second one.
Yeah.
Also, I think I saw Beth drinking something delicious. Let me. Yep. No. Yes.
Yeah, Topo Chico. What?
It's
I
the
told you.
lime.
Yes. Oh, get her in. Get her in.
You
Mike.
have no idea what you just did, Beth.
We're.
I'm on it.
Have you tried the lime?
Oh yeah,
Of
I put
course.
actually
Of course.
black cherry Mio in my lime, and then I add vodka every day at 3 o'clock.
That's a problem, Dana. That's a problem.
Still on the clock.
Did I just say that out loud?
Okay, who's next?
No one from work.
Just unlocked. That was amazing. Okay, so this next question is from Casey Gilbert again. I did not expect to cry so much the first time I saw Whose Holiday. How many times will you make me cry in this rendition? Both Adrienne, Stacy, and Beth.
As many times as possible plus one. So we're gonna have to know where she's sitting.
Yes. We can definitely put some we can cut some onions next to her. Like I can just start chopping behind her. I don't know. I think this version of Who's, obviously I didn't see the previous ones, but I think we're really trying to bring humanity to Cindy, and the life is different now. And so I think that
Cindy's gonna adopt a puppy
for Hanukkah.
What?
Yes.
Hashtag come see.
I think
Max.
Do you not remember this story? Spoiler alert.
Dana only remembers the girls from that show.
He just remembers. So, okay, Dana was one of the people. So we talked about how whenever the person from the audience gets brought up to have a drink, we would scout it out. So we didn't ever plant anybody, but we would kind of see who was there. And so the night that Dana was there, Rodney was also there. And so it was literally of who is more convenient to get up on stage, and it happened to be Dana. So Dana got that treatment last year.
I heard that you
talking about the girls or female.
Oh,
sorry.
No, the girls.
The girls, gotcha. I think in all the times I've costumed you, Adrienne, every time I worry about your girls. I think I've always been like, Adrienne, do you have it? She's like, oh yeah, we got some special stuff. And I'm like, I worry more about your boobs than anything.
We did have the double-sided tape discussion really early in the rehearsal process. That was day one.
I take special care, which is why in Adam's Family, I literally had chemical burns from the double-sided tape.
Wow.
Not kidding. Chemical burns from the tape.
No.
Oh, I got those in Gypsy.
Did you really?
Because there was so much tape.
So much tape.
Because there was a mishap in dress rehearsal because we didn't understand what would happen with corsets and gravity and things. That's why we have dress rehearsal.
I think the dads are loving this conversation. Mike looks really uncomfortable.
I don't know if he's paying attention.
His internet.
Almost out.
Cynthia Bradford. She has something for Creel that you've taught 3 out of the 4 Bradford kids, and you somehow survived. How does that happen?
So Harrison is I've had 3 of the 4. I had Harrison the year that I had 30 kids in my advanced class, my production class.
No, I remember that. I was there.
It was crazy. I had Sam for Theater 1. And then now I have Will.
You have Will?
Wow.
Yeah, he's 3 of the 4. And I don't know, you just have to learn. 1? What? Yeah, Sam had Theater 1.
We'll need to talk about that. Okay.
How old is Will?
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
He's so cool.
Wow.
He's so cool.
So Will and I have
him on stage.
He used to do shows. Well, clearly you didn't watch Rain on Me because he was featured in the Mother Knows Best number from Tangled.
I saw that, but oh my God.
Well, Cynthia, I think during her episode talked about how in A Christmas Carol, Will was the only one that didn't want to do the show, but then Will was the one who Randy gave a line to.
Oh.
But Will and I have a standing date when he turns 18. We're supposed to go see, there's a movie, it was the Brad Pitt movie and Shia LaBeouf about the tank in World War II. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I remember that movie. Yeah.
Okay, so Will has like an encyclopedia knowledge of World War II and the military. And so when that movie came out, he was really, really young, but he was super excited about it. And I had gone to see it. And so that was the deal that Cynthia was like, you are too young, you can't see it. But when you turn 18, Adrienne can take you to go see it.
I just have to say that like Will, super cool. He like flies under the radar. He's begging me every day to go on our catwalk. Every day. He's like, Creel, if I could do this scene better if I was on the catwalk, because our class is an auditorium. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let you on the catwalk. Harrison, if you want to know the difference, would have just snuck his way up there. And then I would have looked up and said, Harrison, are you on the catwalk? And then Samantha, it's just fantastic. Like, I want her all the time. She was a zombie in my show. So like, I don't know if I'm going to be teaching when I get the last Bradford, because I don't know if I can handle one more, y'all.
Isn't he a 8th
Special.
grader or a 7th grader? Henry.
I don't know. I still want him to be so little, but I know he's not.
He was fantastic in Matilda.
I know.
Absolutely fantastic. Did y'all see Matilda? Either of you?
I saw bits of it. Yes.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, he was the cake eater kid. Like
Bruce.
Fantastic.
Wow. That's hopefully going to be. We're going to do that eventually. Matilda at College Station.
That was a great show. I really enjoyed that show.
It's one of the ones Dana made it to that he wasn't in.
Yeah, he doesn't always make it to shows. Can't be bothered with actually coming to shows that he's not in.
That's one of the shows, Beth, that when I saw it on Broadway, I didn't think about a damn thing because it was pure magic. And the opening of Act 2, they do this trick with the swings. So they have this like younger group of kids, and then they have this teenage group of kids that's actually the 20s and 30s dancers. But they're on swings, and the swings get dropped when the big kids jump on them, and they extend out over to the audience. And they're singing about when they grow up, and they're gonna eat candy all day and watch TV all night, and it's this beautiful moment where your heart just melts.
And they're swinging over you,
and it's. Then they did curtain call on little like razor scooters, so it's just this childlike dream, and it's amazing. It's one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen.
Shout out to Miss Honey on our version of that.
Harry, it's so good.
Who's next?
Oh, me. Okay, so this is like the last like question that we have, but it's more of I'm putting you both on the spot. Amanda Morrissey would like you, Stacy, to do just like a teensy bit of Tenacious D's Wonder Boy.
Oh my God. Amazing.
So here's something you don't know about Stacy, but will make all three of you happy because I know who you are. Stacy's a karaoke queen.
Oh, yes.
What is your number one go-to song, Stacy?
For a long time it was Dream On from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Wait,
what is it now?
I don't know. I've been playing with a couple, but Summer of '69 is a good one.
Which version?
Brian Adams.
Oh, I didn't know if the
is there another version other than Brian Adams?
The Ataris do a fantastic version of that. Google that. It's fantastic.
Okay. I don't know.
It was like from the late 90s, the Ataris. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, it's like they say there's other versions of Last Christmas too, other than Wham.
Yeah. They don't matter.
Taylor Swift. We'll keep
going. Oh, they are terrible.
Dana, your taste in music is awful.
Awful.
Like, it's terrible.
Y'all know what his favorite Christmas song is? His favorite Christmas song. So many good answers to this. What is it, Dana? What is your favorite Christmas?
My favorite Christmas song, but Justin Bieber's "Mistletoe" is pretty fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
That's so embarrassing for you.
Great, and I have you pinned, Stacy, so you're like for everyone to see that face. What is your go-to karaoke song tonight if we were at karaoke?
Obviously, it's Wonder Boy by Tenacious D.
Because I love Amanda. Okay, hang on. I gotta think about it for a second. Y'all thinking
Just
is
a couple bars.
hard.
Just roll with it.
Don't make it weird, Dana. Don't make it weird.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay. High above the mucky muck, castle made of clouds, there sits Wonder Boy, sitting oh so proudly. Oh, no, I can't think of the rest of it. Then there's something with mind bullets. That's telekinesis, Kyle. That's all I've got.
Amazing. Amazing.
There was like a cast party where you performed that with Amanda's husband, Chad, right? Y'all did that like a cast party or something.
No, we did it for Sweeney Todd auditions.
You did it for auditions. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stacy, you chose Wonder Boy for auditions?
Oh yeah, I've done Last Dance. I went through a phase where I would do very like inappropriate songs for auditions.
You teach
it's
musical theater.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do it now. But then it was just like, I might not get cast in this show, so I'm gonna sing something I want to sing, and we'll see what happens.
Such a free.
In her defense,
maybe the only chance.
No, in her defense, there were a few years where like literally it was the same pack of like 15 to 20 of us doing every show, right? And so auditions were not like, oh, what part should I, or what song should I pick to like pertain to the role? It was like, what do I want to show off with? Because like we're all going to be in this thing no matter where we end up, right? Like that's what auditions were for a while.
Yeah.
Diva Point Adrienne.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that we knew we were going to get cast. It was more of like, we're all in this together. And it was more of this, I don't know. It was auditions definitely used to have a tone of like, this is our talent show night because everyone would come and watch.
It was like American Idol, kind of. It was like American Idol College Station. And it was just like a party. Yeah. And it's like you could sing Happy Birthday or
can we bring
something by Poe?
Because I feel like I'm going to throw up every time we have an audition.
No.
Crazy. Well, and then so there's a follow-up, but I can't read all the names that have requested this as well. So Ann, now Beth, rap.
Yes.
Mike, please read those names.
Oh, it's Chris.
And then will you rap them?
Mike and Rodney.
Michelle.
Just everyone watching. Michelle.
Okay, Michelle Green knows my rap. She keeps me like she kept me awake driving from Temple High School from rapping. She's like, we got to listen to Dr. Dre.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, we got you center right now. So rock it.
You want some Dr. Dre?
Oh, sure.
But like Jay-Z is my go-to as well. So like 99 Problems.
It's his birthday today. I think it's his birthday.
What? Jay.
Homage to Jay-Z.
There's like okay. How does it start? Okay. Now I see how hard it is, Stacy, to not get your Tenacious D going.
I needed Chad.
I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit enough that you want to legally search my.
Ooh.
I can't say anymore.
Oh, I wish you could because now my mind is trying to fill in the blank.
Well, see, this is the thing. Like, I know the profanity, so then when I have to edit it, I lose my track.
So, do you know any Beastie Boys? Because they're fairly clean.
Well, I mean, you know, you got Brass Monkey. That was the first song I learned how to play on my saxophone.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Intergalactic Planetary.
Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, one of the best Beastie Boys songs ever. I mean, I can just rant about the Beastie Boys. Let's see. I like Intergalactic. I love Brass Monkey. You know, Fight for Your Right to Party is the classic. We have Sabotage. Girls. I mean, but it's the melody that's the thing about Girls. Do right, like that's all we got. Sorry, Mike. That's all you're gonna get from me, bud.
All good. All good.
Well, thank you guys
for harder than that
tonight. You guys have been an absolute pleasure to have on the show this evening.
Well, thanks.
We've got a couple more segments, and then we're heading to Dad's After Dark. Rodney?
Well, hold on. Before Rodney does that.
Sorry.
So I don't know, Beth and Stacy, I don't know if you guys are on TikTok. But every once in a while, we'll issue the dads a TikTok challenge. This is the first time that they actually, all three of them did the challenge. And so I posted all of them on the Insta story and I did a poll of like who won.
Oh yeah.
There's a very clear winner. It was literally unanimous from the two people that voted. Terry was one of them, and I didn't even know she did this. Terry, would you like to announce the winner of the dance-off?
You cheated.
Hands down, it was Rodney.
No, you cheated.
Hey.
What? No.
I'm looking for it on Instagram right now. I know, right? What is this TikTok?
It's saved my mental health.
After the show, explain to me how you did that, Rodney, with the speed up time thing, because I couldn't figure that part out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so typically what we do is Jennifer Riley, our fabulous stage manager, performer extraordinaire, has a fun fact. But today it's being taken over by Rodney.
That's right. So this holiday season, we have so many important days that we celebrate. New Year's is going to be tremendous. Christmas, Hanukkah, Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us.
For the rest of us.
Yes.
But there's a holiday that gets lost in the shuffle. And we really need to give it its due because of how important it is.
Boxing Day.
And that day is actually tomorrow. Tomorrow is Repeal Day.
Oh, that's
on December 5th of 1933, Prohibition was repealed.
Oh, yes. We need to celebrate this.
And we can now just, take shots right out of the bottle.
Wow, guys, I hadn't opened our Instagram for a while, so I thought that there were just 2 people voted, but apparently not. The entire Greer family said Rodney. Susan Moore. Hold on. Susan Moore said Dana. Yes. Rodney said Rodney, but that doesn't count. Adrienne Rowell says Dana looks like he hated his life. Sorry, Mike has the dance moves. Oh, Mike has the dance moves I do. Sorry, Mike. That's not a compliment.
That's not a vote for you.
Lauren Moore says Rodney. Dustin Barty, Rodney. Carrie Kemp, Rodney. Sarah Emily Miller, Rodney, and it wasn't even close.
Whoa!
And the final vote, Cameron Mosier, Rodney.
Come on.
My adoring
Can you give me the trick? Can you show me how to do that?
Thank you. Thank you all. Sure. I really, I'm going to take this moment to...
I just muted him.
Yes, perfect.
Well played, Dana.
So he's gonna, he muted.
Rodney, you can have your moment for your speech in Dads After Dark when Dana has to pee.
Yeah, it's coming pretty quick, Yes, thank you again, you two, Stacy and Beth. I didn't really meet. I met Beth the other day at the theater. Stacy, I've heard about you, but never met you. And tonight, again, kindred spirits within the theater company of Bryan College Station. So thank you guys so much for your candidness. And in the words of Mike Kilgore, seek us out on TTCDivaDads.com, where you can follow us on your choice of social medias. We are actually on everything from Pandora to Apple Music for the podcast. Check us out. We love you guys. We'll see you guys in Dads After Dark very shortly. Thank you. And goodbye.
Thank you to our 7 listeners. Bye.
7.
Bye.